The more I look at this ship, the more I like it, especially for a new player or someone who doesn't have a lot of ships. And I think you will too. So, the Temerian Deep Space Cruiser is the grand prize for this year's winter event, Q's Winter Wonderland. They've just dropped the stats blog, and let's take a look at it. Why do I like this ship? Well, let's take a look at the stats. It's a tier 6 ship. It is a cruiser, so if you're looking to do science, you're going to be out of luck there. However, as far as cruisers go, this one is quite nice. And for the kind of player who actually needs an event ship, someone who may not have a tier 6 at all, or someone who may only have one or two, and they really need something to help bolster their roster, this is going to be a very flexible and versatile ship that can grow with you. The very first event ship I ever had was the one I used as my daily driver for longer than any other ship. It is a tier 6 ship. It has decent hull and shield modifiers. Survival can be difficult when you're just starting out. It has a 5-3 weapon layout, which is always nice to see. Now let's talk about the bridge officer stations and the console layout. You get a Lieutenant Commander Tactical, a Commander Engineering, a Lieutenant Science Intel, an Ensign Universal, and a Lieutenant Commander Universal Command. You also get 5 Engineering, 4 Tactical, and 2 Science console slots. 3 things jump out at me immediately. 1, you get 2 Lieutenant Commander seats, which means you're going to get 3 Lieutenant Commander powers in total. 2, it has a generous amount of universal seating. And 3, it has 2 different specialization seats, which is going to give you more power and flexibility. I see 2 different ways you could build this. 1, you build it as a beam boat. You'll be able to get Beam Overload 3 or Fire at Will 3 on your Lieutenant Commander Tactical. For engineering, it is a Commander Engineering, which is forced on you, but it's the only forced engineering seat, and we happen to have a classic layout for this. You get Emergency Power to Engines 1, Aux to Bat 1, Emergency Power to Weapons 3, and Aux to Bat 3. I took a look on the exchange, and the blue rare technicians are going for about $1 million each, whereas the purple ones are going for about $8 million each. So even a brand new player should be able to get a basic Aux to Bat setup going rather cheaply and easily. After that, for your Lieutenant Science Intel seat, you can put Override Subsystem Safeties 2 and maybe Hazard Emitters. Your Ensign Universal is whatever you want. And then for the Lieutenant Commander Universal Command, I would recommend doing Rally Point Marker 1 and Suppression Barrage 1 for some added survival. For the console slots, the 5 Engineering can be filled out with ISO mags. They're going to be difficult to grind out if you're doing it that way, but it is something you can get completely for free, and they're going to be the best consoles in the game for doing energy weapon damage. However, there are other options as well. Let's say, for example, as part of an event campaign, you happen to get your hands on the Sona Intel Battlecruiser, so you get subspatial warheads, which is an essential trait if you want to try and make torpedoes work. The Sona Intel Battlecruiser is a great ship, but it's not the best for doing torpedoes. This one isn't either, but it is better than that ship. With the Lieutenant Commander Tactical, you can get Torpedo High Yield 3, then you can go over to your Lieutenant Commander Universal Command and get Concentrate Firepower 3. If you happen to have unconventional systems, then the Intel seat is going to be great for some uncon procs. You could also use this Lieutenant Commander Universal as a science to get those as well. And if you really have to, you can put a couple of the engineering powers on the commander's seat that'll give you uncon procs as well. So even if you end up getting some better cooldown management for your consoles, or maybe you get the Boimler effect or something else, you can rearrange the seating configuration to something that will accommodate you. A base turn rate of 12 is rather generous for a ship like this. We're used to seeing cruisers that can go all the way down to 6. It has 10 weapon power and 10 shield power, which is not the best in the world. And even though the commander seat is not a specialization seat, it does have the full inspiration abilities that would normally come with a full command ship. And as an added little bonus, just for fun, they've renamed all of these abilities, including the cruiser commands and the Starship Mastery package, after some of the fun phrases from TNG that the Temerians speak in, because if you don't recall, that's the species that speaks in memes, basically. So you get Calamus at Bahar is Turn the Tide. Zindi, his face black, his eyes red, is Against All Odds. Bazmenti, when he pulled back the veil, is Battle Preparation, and these inspiration abilities are quite nice. They can help keep you alive, they can give you some bonus damage. They are definitely impactful, and it's nice that the ship has them. So let's go ahead and talk about the trait and the console. The console, Universal Polarity Coil Generator, it has a whole bunch of flavor text here, but it doesn't really tell you too much about the passives. However, it does tell us what the effect is. The console also provides a passive ability which deals a large amount of kinetic damage when firing upon a ship affected by shield's offline status once every 10 seconds. The fact that it's only once every 10 seconds and that it's only when certain conditions where the shields are offline means that it's probably not very good, and I'm guessing when they say a large amount of damage, it's not what the player base at large would consider a large amount of damage. The starship trait, Darmok and Jalad, your first weapon hit against an unshielded quadrant on a foe will allow you to beam their commanding officer away from their bridge, resulting in momentary confusion and a long-lasting debuff to their outgoing damage. Your ship will in turn reap the benefits of being prepared for this tactic, gaining an instant reduction to all captain ability cooldowns. This may only trigger once per enemy ship. Now, both of these effects have been quite powerful in the past. Captain ability cooldowns is a big thing. It's the reason people use the Intelligence Agent Attaché personal space trait, and reducing outgoing enemy damage is something that support and tank players like to get through Suppression Barrage with command powers. You could even double this up with Suppression Barrage to reduce outgoing damage even further, giving you extra survivability for you and your team. Obviously, there's nothing it can do that you can't find another ship that will do better. However, if this is your only tier 6 starship, then I think you're going to be pretty happy with it. As happy as you'll be when you click the like button, and if you want to see the rest of my Advent Calendar special, hit that subscribe button as well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.